So Mike Tannenbaum gave you a bit of history, or Caleb gave you a bit of history on Mike Tannenbaum. He has Hendon Hooker in the top 5. What the H brought to you by Craft Treats. What the H, are you not taking care of your pet? Go to crafttreats.com. Use the promo code Off the Hook, and you will get 20% off the chill pills, which are CBD infused. They'll take care of your pet's anxiety issue. How about your pet's, I don't know, could have issues with arthritis? They'll take care of that. That's my pet. And also anxiety, storm anxiety, social anxiety. So Mike Tannenbaum has Hendon Hooker in the top 5. Go to crafttreats.com. Use the promo code Off the Hook to get 20% off the hook. What do you think about Hendon Hooker in the top 5? Is this fool's gold? Is this somebody talking to try to say something a little bit different when everybody's on the Stroud bandwagon? Reportedly, people are getting off the Will Levis bandwagon because he's so arrogant and egotistical. And there's the Anthony Richardson bandwagon. All of this is smoke. We don't really know. But Caleb, what do you think of Hendon Hooker being a potential top 5 pick? I'll be honest with you. I'm what the H. That blows me away if he's able to go that high. I hope and pray he does. Literally pray, because I think he's a great individual. But I just don't see top 5. I don't see top 10. I don't see first half of the first round. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, so let's bring this up with Tannenbaum real quick. He does have Hendon Hooker going over Anthony Richardson. He has Anthony Richardson going 11th to the Titans. As a Titans fan, I pray that does not happen. I would much rather have Hendon Hooker than Anthony Richardson, and that's not just because
that would be so cool if he went to the Titans. Go ahead.
It would be so great, yeah. So I would not like that as a Titans fan, but I will say this: Mike Tannenbaum does have Will Levis going 4th to Indianapolis. Now, as a Titans fan, I would love that. If the Colts draft Will Levis, I'm going to love that. I would say that, so Tannenbaum is very high on quarterbacks. He's got Bryce Young going number 1 to Carolina, CJ Stroud number 2 to Houston, Will Levis number 4 to Indy, Hendon Hooker number 5 to Seattle. He's got Will Anderson going 3rd to Arizona. So he's just loving the quarterbacks. But his case for Hendon Hooker, here's what he says. And I can't disagree with him on this. He says, Hendon Hooker's really underscouted right now because he's coming off a torn ACL in his left knee. But he's got I love his strong arm and 6'3" frame. Before the injury, he led the nation in yards per attempt, only threw 2 interceptions over 11 starts, was a top 10 passer in terms of completion percentage. And then he says, I see a potential franchise quarterback who can lead an offense. And he brings this up. This is the Seahawks, by the way, that he has Hendon Hooker going to. The Seahawks recently re-signed Geno Smith. We know, you and I both agree Hendon Hooker's a project. And we know Geno Smith is not a long-term plan for anybody.
And we also know that they don't want to deal with a diva like Russell Wilson ever again.
Exactly.
And Geno Hooker is the antithesis. He's the exact opposite. Antithesis.
He's the antithesis to a diva. Now, Geno Smith used to be a diva. By the way, Mike Tannenbaum, I think, was one of the guys who, I think Mike Tannenbaum drafted Geno Smith to the Jets. Maybe it was after Mike Tannenbaum. I don't know. Don't quote me. But Geno Smith used to be a diva, but I think he's kind of matured now to a certain degree.
He took a smaller contract, which no quarterback does now. I mean, Lamar Jackson's a great example.
Right, exactly. And so I think Geno Smith is, look, some people mature late, and when they do, you can rely on them. And I think Geno Smith may have turned into that. But he's, what is he, 33?
That may be me. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I said this. I would never have been cut out to be famous at 25. I would have said so many things that got me in trouble. But
well, I agreed. Not for you, but for me. Go ahead.
But yeah, so Geno Smith, but no matter what, Geno Smith is not your long-term plan. So Hendon Hooker, we know he's a project. Sit 3 years, develop in the system, come out at, I mean, he'll be 27 then. I know that's a little bit later than your average quarterback, but I think he's more than willing to do that. And I think he'd still have a lot of athleticism and ability in him. And we know Pete Carroll is willing to work with a quarterback like him. So I don't think this is as crazy as people think. The only reason it might be a little crazy is that, look, it's more likely than not that if you want Hendon Hooker with the 5th pick, you're going to be available with Hendon Hooker in the 2nd round.
That's what I was going to ask you. With Tannenbaum, is this a value thing, or is this where he thinks he'll go based off team needs? Because there are 2 different mock drafts, right? There's just who you think is the best, and then where you think somebody will fall. Because I'll go ahead and tell you, my top 2 picks would be Will Anderson. Pretty easy. And then I would go Bryce Young. Those are my top 2 picks. After that, we can have a debate about what you need at 3. Maybe you need a quarterback. Maybe you need a defensive end. Maybe you need an offensive tackle. But so is he basing this off what people need, or he just thinks he's the 5th best overall player, given that he plays quarterback?
I think it's probably 5th best overall player. Because there's also yesterday there was Jordan Reed, another reporter, did his own mock draft, and he did a full 7 rounds, and he had Hendon Hooker going 55th overall to Detroit. So, man, I wish Jim Bob Cooter was still in Detroit. Jim Bob Cooter coaching Hooker.
You don't want Jim Bob Cooter sneaking in your window and hopping in bed with you for a little cuddle.